Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this message brought to you by Friday Night Light Ministries. For more information, check us out on the web at FridayNightLight.us.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Friday Night Light. We are super glad you guys are all here tonight. I'm Kara, if y'all don't know that yet. My husband is Shane. He's around here. He's a bald guy with a big, giant beard. I was working on getting him to trim it more, but he was like, no, but at least I got him. He doesn't look like he's like coming out of the wilderness, so improvement. So, our vision is to create environments where people can encounter Christ and be empowered to advance the kingdom. We just want people to know the love of God, to sense the love of God, and to meet Him here in the barn every Friday night. How do we do that? We gather in His presence, grow in His power, and go in His love. Ultimately, we feel called to the region, and we want to see the power of God unleashed in the region because God can still do miracles today. God can heal today. God can make the blind see, the deaf hear. He can make the lame walk. He can do any number of things today, and all He wants is for there to be no ceiling. And so we just don't give Him a ceiling. Every Friday's a little bit different. So sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. We might be doing something tonight we just talked about. So we just kind of, here's what we do. If we have any agenda, we just lay it all down and say, Jesus, what do you want to do tonight? Because that's all we want to do is what you want to do. Our plans don't matter. His are the only ones that matter. So if you're here, we invite you to check in on Facebook. Let the world know you're here, because Facebook is life. And please, if you're new, we haven't seen you before, fill out a Connect card. They're in the back by the giving box. Let us know who you are. We're not going to spam you. I mean, I won't. Ricky here might, in the wheelchair, he might try to spam you because he likes to do that kind of stuff. But I will not. I keep those Connect cards away from him. So the kids tonight, normally they do a lesson, but it's Christmas vacation, so we're just taking it a little bit easy. They're doing a Christmas party tonight. Gonna have some fun, probably eat some cookies.
Wait a minute. How come I wasn't invited?
It's on purpose.
Oh. I feel so much love.
Sure you do. Just like I feel from you every time you give me a hard time.
Yes, ma'am. That's
okay,
my job.
This coming Monday is New Year's Eve, a night with the King. We're going to open the barn at 9 o'clock. We're going to have some games. Some of us will be fasting, so we're going to eat. Bring an hors d'oeuvre to pass, some kind of finger food, so we don't need a lot of, extra utensils and all that stuff. So bring something to pass around. We're going to do communion at midnight. Some worship in between there and communion, and it'll be really awesome. And what a great way to start the new year.
Yes.
Testimony night returns next Friday night with Shelly Benson sharing her testimony. Yes! And now that it's public knowledge, Shelly, you can't back out now. It's a done deal. It's on the video. Look, Illumination, our student ministry, is doing Creative Nation on January 9th at 6:30. If you are a poet, a musician, an artist, a photographer, a storyteller, testimony share, whatever it is, contact Laura Brown. Her number's on here. I have more of these, but they're in the house, so you can just take a picture of the number if you want to sign up. That's for middle school through college-age students. The next Sundays in the barn is January 13th at 5:30. This is just a fun night. Invite people. It's a great time, and we get to spend some time with the Lord as well. Check out our FNL Reload videos for midweek inspiration, because we know sometimes it's hard to get through those Wednesdays. And if you're looking to get involved, we actually have an FNL Kids Crew meeting this Wednesday at 5:30. If you want to come to that, you're welcome to come. If you want to get involved in kids, we have some exciting things coming up in FNL Kids. And if you want to get involved in worship or tech, talk to Brian or Jared. Safety, talk to Amy. Hospitality, talk to Scotty. And event planning, talk to Michelle. And student ministry, talk to Laura Brown. She's not here tonight, so you can talk to Michelle for that tonight as well. She could just put you in touch.
Michelle's like, yeah, right.
She's like, what? Join us on Band. Look for FNL Maine. That's a free app in the Google Play Store or App Store. I don't know what they're called. Anyway, check us out there. You can join FNL Maine. And once you're on a team, we have like an FNL Kids team. We have an FNL Hospitality team. All those different teams. We just communicate with each other that way. It's easier than group texting because those can get sort of out of hand, Shane, Jared.
I'm sorry, I do too, so.
Scotty, it's true. All right, you can find us on social media at Facebook and YouTube at Friday Night Light, Instagram at The Friday Light, and we're working on Twitter and Snapchat, so that's just still yet to come. That's what I have for now, and then my husband has a message for you.
Yes. That's not true. I like that look.
Just one?
Okay. She wanted me to do a giving message that she just told me about just now. We don't really do giving messages. We call it that. We kind of have different people talk about it. And since I did it last week, kind of been just refreshing on that. Obviously, everything that we have has come from the Lord.
Amen.
That's the truth. We all know that.
Amen.
If you don't know that, that's the problem. Your ability to get up, your ability to breathe, to have strength, to know what to do, the right thing to do, to be able to, Bible says, go out, work, get gain. He gives us that ability, inspiration, strength, passion. If we spend time with him, he starts to change our heart, change our mind, right, in ways that perfect love casts out fear.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not that we don't want to use wisdom. God will give us wisdom to do it, but maybe sometimes, I'm just kind of going with the flow here. Maybe sometimes we're not giving because maybe there's fear involved. And we do want to use wisdom, but we need to couple wisdom with faith.
Amen.
And if God has told us to do something, right, we don't really need to pray and ask God for something he's already told us to do.
Yeah.
If his word has already made it clear what we should do, we should just do that, believing that we'll receive the answer that it says we'll receive, and thank him in advance for it. And then what? If we don't see it immediately, we stand. It says to stand, therefore, until we do see it. And while we're waiting, we keep declaring, I'm counting on you, God. I did what you said. I believe that your word works. I believe that I'll see the answers to the prayers and or things that I'm doing, right, in line with your word. By the way, I did finish reading that, Lowell, and I loved it. So I can't wait to hear it. Lowell's going to be giving us a message, and it's awesome. 2 weeks. And so in the area of finances, I can only tell you, where I'm at. I know there's other people that I'm positive are farther along than I am, or my wife, us together. But for us, right now, we're endeavoring as much as we can within us, that everything that we own belongs to God. We don't own it. And some people are like, well, that just sounds kooky or whatever. I don't care. I know that my truck, my house, my car, this barn, the property, all of it, God's given it to me for a reason. And I'm going to be dead for a long time. Actually alive, right? We know that. But after this life is forever. There's a missionary who says, he is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose.
That's right.
I really believe. And we are working very hard to make sure that we're using everything we've been given, all of our mental facilities, our intellect, our strength, our passion, our property, everything to be able to advance the kingdom. If you go back and you read, I believe it's Acts 4, says there was no lack. Go back and reread what was happening there. I believe what God's doing again, he's told us originally when we were starting FNL, he said, I'm doing a new thing, but it's really a return to the old. the driving principles, to know him as Father like never before, to return family back to the church, and to blur the lines of denomination, which would create more unity. Those things are what they were doing, and it said thousands were added to the church daily. When we really truly get this, so is this a giving message? Probably is beyond giving. Do what you want. Let this overtake every part of your life. If your pocketbook is there, pocketbook is involved, whatever. Because really, you could have no money, but if you have the right heart, God will bring the resources to those people that have that right mindset. Those he knows they'll do right with it. Do right with the talents that he's given them. I can't even begin to tell you, just in the past weeks, over the last year, 2018, it has been incredible. I'm not real big on journaling. I do some. But I make mental notes. And I know the memorials that I have in my heart and my mind when I look back at what God's been doing. It blows me away constantly. Constantly. All I have to do is stop, get on my knees, get quiet, wait on him. I start hearing him like I've never heard him before. I start remembering. He starts putting together all the things that have been happening so beyond coincidence. You could never make, could not make this up. Beyond coincidence. The things that are happening, how things are playing out, how when I do the things that he's telling me to do, it's just how it's all working out. And I told someone recently, making piles of gold out of piles of crap. He's amazing. Even when I mess up, how he has turned it around for my good and the good of others. Even when I've stepped on other people's toes, how he has turned it around. If I, in a humble heart, accept responsibility very quickly, how he has turned it around and made it amazing. In my marriage, in my home, in my relationships. So, in the area of giving, trust God. You can't outgive God. Forget the money. Give God your life.
Amen.
Totally.
Amen.
The more you give to him, just start getting in the mindset of giving up, giving over to him. It will revolutionize your life. He is so big. He is so amazing. He is so full of love. I have some people that keep wanting to get caught in debate, and God's so much bigger, guys. When we get, I know when we get to heaven, so many things we thought were issues that we're fighting about, they're not going to be issues over there. God's wanting to bring unity on the earth, first in his body, and then with all men. He said that to us. He just showed me it in his word. To all men. He's wanting us to be the hands and the feet and the mouthpiece. He wants us to be him to the world. We can't do that without truly giving over completely to him. So, in the area of giving, start with this, giving over to him. That area will take care of itself. This is probably much more important. Be more dedicated. Tonight is a celebration service. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it again. This is his night. We're not here just to listen to the worship music. We don't need high tech. We could have been out on a grassy hill. There's people in other countries in a cold house right now worshiping the Lord, and his presence is descending there. In a foreign country, in a mud hut, his presence is descending there. There's missionaries praying against demonic forces. There are people seeing angels. There are enemy forces, and they're out there and they're doing it out where there's no power, there's no heat, there's no air conditioning. How much more responsible will we be when he says, I gave you a perfect environment, perfect opportunity to be able to connect with me? Because when we gather together, there he is in the midst. It's about all of his kids coming around. Let the little children come. He said, unless you become as a little child, you can't even enter into the kingdom of heaven. He's right now at his throne room where we're getting ready to go. They might be leading, but we're all coming together at his throne room. I encourage you. He said, don't have vain imaginations. What's the opposite of a vain imagination? A good imagination. You know the power of imagining? The power of seeing things? We've all heard this. It's becoming mainstream. That's faith. We can see it and believe it before we have it. See the throne room. He's explained what it looks like. The throne room. The elders throwing down their crowns, falling on their faces, bowing and worshiping. I'm going to tell you, we have a Sunday meeting. I don't know if I'm going too long. I'm not trying to. If you want me to. But I had a vision. And it was awesome. And it was a vision of heaven. And it was a vision of the throne room of God. And it was the throne room. But it was like outdoors. It was so big. It was like looking into a valley. The landscape went way out and way up, and it was literally covered 360 with people. Amen. His throne was in the middle, and I don't know how to explain it, but we were all there, and we were in the house, in the room. We were there in that place with them, and there were other people praying in rooms and other groups of, like this right here. They were there too, with the hosts of heaven, everyone who's already went over there, and the angels. The elders, I'm telling you, I know that I saw it was Abraham. I just knew that it was. There were people there, and they were aware of us. They turned, and they were coming over towards us. It was like it was outdoors, but it was the throne room. It was incredible. He's wanting us to meet him. There are levels and places we can go in the Spirit. If you dare to allow yourself to start to begin to I want to connect with you, Father. I want to be where you are. I want to see this place. I want to know you more. Peter, James, John, Paul, they talked about the levels of heaven where they were connecting and wanting to go and be closer to him. They didn't even have the New Testament. They just knew what was happening. They were the New Testament. They recorded what happened to them. That became the New Testament. It was just the experience that they were having with God and his Spirit. What do you think they were writing down? What he was telling them right then. That's what we see today. He still wants to connect and talk to you. He still wants to download. He is still speaking the same thing. Unity, love, peace, health. And the enemy and the world are fighting against it. He's raising us up to go out. That's what's happening right now. You're here right now to go to the throne room, to make connection with him, to be raised up and pour back out of this place, to start your own ministries, to go out into the region to do this. That's why you're here. Creating environments to connect with him. That's what he started this for. Dare to believe how big and incredible he is. I'm not saying you're going to have a vision today, but you might. You might have a vision that would launch you, who knows what. You might be the next Paul. Praise God. I'd love, surpass me, please. please. I'd love to be the shoulder to launch you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're going to meet him. That's what this is, a celebration service. We want to draw his presence. Be expectant to receive him. Let your heart be calling out to him. Let your heart be begging for him to connect with you. He will. He loves you. Even if it's a little bit more than it was wherever you've been. You know, it was just a little bit better than that is still so much. Little by little by little, but who knows, it may be a big step. Just be ready and believing. And he responds to our expectation and desire to be near him in our belief that he is who he is who he says he is, and he wants to be with us. He said his presence is in our very midst. 2 or 3 are gathered. So do we believe he's going to be here today to be with us? Yes. Close your eyes. Forget everyone else. Try to have imaginings. Remember what he said about the throne room. Try to see, whatever. I'm not saying it has to be what he showed me. He's big. So I'm just going to pray for the service. God, we love you.
Yes.
You're so big. Yes, you are justice. You are truth. But you are mercy, and you are grace, and you are love. And you don't want us to just see justice and truth. You don't want us to see love through the lens of justice and truth. You want us to see justice and truth through the lens of love. We need you, Father.
Yes.
We need you. We need you. We beg for you. This world needs you. And we can't do it without you. Help us to get over ourselves. Help us to forget about ourselves, God. To believe that we can do what you said because it's you doing it. And it's not us. We just thank you, God. I thank you for your presence here in this place tonight. We give you permission. This is your place. This environment is what you want to do with it. So we give over to you, God, everything that we are tonight.
Hallelujah.
We give ourselves to you, our thoughts, our attitudes. If there's anything you want to remind us of that's a hindrance or been in the way, please remind us, God, that we can repent of it and get it out of the way. And we just would forgive ourselves and move on from that, knowing that we're forgiven and not allowing that to hold us back. We want to come boldly before you, God, with shouting, God, and rejoicing to your throne. We need you, God. We need you in our hearts. We need you in this place so we can be your hands and your feet and your mouthpiece to this world. We give over to you, God. We give this service to you. In Jesus' name. Amen.
If you enjoyed this message today, be sure to like and subscribe. For more messages or to get plugged in, visit FridayNightLight.us.